This week's college football playoff top 25 brought to you by Capital One. So let's start at number 25. And Arkansas, after that near miss against Alabama, is down 4 spots. Houston has a spot in the American Championship game against Cincinnati. And the Cougars are 10-1 right now, Dave.
Obviously, that's huge. Cincinnati put a great game together against SMU. Now you got Houston on the horizon, so a great opportunity again for them to make a statement.
And look at Clemson. Clemson had been in every ranking of the college football playoff era, but not this year. And Herbie, the Tigers, after beating Wake Forest, are in for the first time this season.
Yeah, 8-3. The committee sees that win against Wake. The respect they had for Wake moves Clemson up into the top 25. Let's not forget Houston. You touched on it, David. The one loss to Texas Tech. Since then, 10 straight. They got UConn next week, 11 straight. They will be going in with a lot of momentum for Dana Holgorsen as they get ready for Cincinnati and next Saturday.
You know, and Kirk, they had a 21-point lead, if memory serves, opening night in that game against Texas Tech and squandered it, and that's the only loss they've had. Brady Hoke's team still in the fight in the Mountain West and down 2 spots to number 21. Let's look at 20 through 16 now. North Carolina State holding steady and still with hopes of making it into the ACC championship game, Joey. And Wake Forest is sitting there. They also are hoping to get into the ACC championship game down 8 spots.
Yeah, I was just noticing Wake dropping 8 spots after that loss to Clemson. And honestly, it's the first time we've seen Clemson look that way all season long. That's the Clemson team we've been waiting to see. They finally showed up. Unfortunately, it was against a Wake team that wasn't quite ready. They dropped 8 spots. And then how about Pitt continues to win? I love what they've done. They've clinched the Coastal. It's going to be interesting to see who they play in the ACC championship game.
Yeah, Pitt could play any of those teams, Clemson, Wake Forest, or NC State, depending on the results of the games this weekend.
Utah, I didn't know if they'd go up higher, too, after hitting Oregon upside the head with a frying pan. I mean, absolutely destroying them, only up 4 spots. You know, a couple spots behind San Diego State they did lose to, but Utah appears to be playing pretty good football.
Yeah, Utah's in the Pac-12 championship game, and Iowa's up a spot to 16, Herbie.
Yeah, I was going to say with the Hawkeyes, I know people said, hey, look at Iowa. They should have been ranked number 2. They had 2 straight losses after getting up there. But let's not forget, keep it in perspective. Iowa still has a chance against Nebraska to get to 10 wins. Anytime the Hawks get to 10 wins, have a potentially top 15 finish, it's an outstanding year. So, yeah, disappointment after being up at 2. But still, a real shot to get to 10 wins, which is an outstanding year for Kirk Ferentz.
And also a shot at the Big Ten championship game if Wisconsin were to stumble in its finale and Iowa were to win that game that Kirk was mentioning against Nebraska coming up on Thanksgiving weekend. Let's look at 15 up to 11. At number 15, Gig'em is at 8-3, and Wisconsin, red hot, just mentioned them. Badgers probably on their way to the Big Ten championship game if they can keep the hot streak alive and beat Minnesota.
They are, and their offense is really founding itself. I mean, Braylon Allen's done a great job rushing the football. Mertz obviously has played better too, but we know about their defense. They're elite. 8-3 with A&M. Interesting, they're ahead of A&M, but they're definitely on the right track.
BYU's still sitting right in the same area they've been at 13, but then the 2 teams that take the big tumble after getting smashed this weekend. Oregon down 8 spots to 11. Michigan State down 5 spots to 12, Kirk.
Yeah, and Oregon's got, a team that still has goals ahead of them trying to get to the Rose Bowl. They'll have to get their mojo back up before they get ready for a rematch with Utah. They have the Civil War to deal with against Oregon State. I think I look at Wisconsin, and I think, as David said, they're 1-3. They were -9 in turnover margin after their first 4 games. Since then, they're like +10. So they're taking care of the ball, playing great defense, and BYU's an incredible story with Kalani Sitake. After all that he lost last year, including their quarterback, look where they are, 9-2, real shot against USC to get to 10 wins.
And I've been waiting to see how far Oregon and Michigan State were going to fall, simply because of its effect on the Big 12. The Big 12 is coming down to the end with Oklahoma State playing Oklahoma. Baylor is in that mix to see who goes to the Big 12 championship game. And so when we talk about a team like Oklahoma State having a chance to maybe leapfrog a few teams, it matters where those teams are ranked. And clearly, all 3 teams will now be in that top 10.
There's so much at stake this weekend, including in the Pac-12 North, where Oregon, they got beat Oregon State to get to the Pac-12 championship game because the Beavers and Washington State are still potentially alive in that division.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.